Can you hear me now? 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 I changed the microphone. Yeah, they should be able to hear me now. And it should be really loud and clear because I changed it to the recording microphone. Yes. Yay. I'm happy. Today is January the 29th, 2025. Unlike last year, I am not struggling to say that when we transitioned over from the end of the year to the beginning. It really should not be low. This is a recording mic. I'll turn it up a little bit for you. Is that volume better? I can turn it up so much higher, but I will blow you out with this microphone. You have no idea. Okay. All right. We are doing just a quick few announcements. Um, we covered a lot on Patreon with what the Galactic Council of Nine calls the great work. It includes the expansion module and the Ascension toolkit for humanity. It is the reason why we are here. It helps with mental and physical maladies. It helps with healing core beliefs and inner child work and integration. It helps in your ascension process. That is why we call it the Ascension Toolkit. So if you are interested in that, it helps with opening abilities, connecting you to your purpose, all of that. And we have a major, major deep dive in a masterclass and channeling of the Galactic Council of Nine to guide us through coming up this weekend. On the first, is it the first? It might be the second. Anya, help. Either way, it's linked above. I believe it's this Sunday coming up this weekend at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah. So I hope that you'll check us out for that. And we'll also be talking about this at Body, Mind, Spirit and bringing that in, as well as a Western Michigan event that I will talk about later. So we have a bunch of events coming up this spring. Yeah. All right. But the group masterclass and deep dive with the Galactic Council of Nine for the Ascension Toolkit for Humanity is coming up on the 1st at 1 p.m. All right. I am a trance channel, a multidimensional channel, both clear and trance. For those of you who don't know me, Dolores Cannon is a really close favorite. Out of all the beings that I've ever channeled, this is the one that seems to come through loud and clear. With the exception of the Galactic Council of Nine, I'd say that this is my person. This is my spirit guide, and I really love working with her. I really love when she talks about New Earth and Ascension and the process, and she loves to come in and give us updates. Just a quick disclaimer, I don't make money from these channelings. I don't do readings with her. I don't pull her over to my Patreon account ever. I prefer to just keep that clear. And I wanted to give you that disclaimer that I am not affiliated with the Dolores Cannon team, nor did I know her when she was alive, and I do not make money from this. Please do not super chat me for this work. That will be very helpful. If you just know that this is our gift to you, completely free, always with her. All right. Ah, isn't time moving fast? A lot of quantum leaping, quantum jumps as we do a deep dive into what Ascension brings in 2025. Spring will make you feel as if winter did not exist. And we are also springing forward into New Earth. And although it may not feel that way in these moments, please be apprised and be aware that it is more important now than ever to know yourself, to allow the subconscious to deeply guide you into that journey. No matter how difficult the world may look externally, when you look around, keep in mind that you have access to more connection, to more channels of awareness in your technology. You have more awareness than you ever have before. And you are being shown things that you did not have access to when I was here in form. You are being shown things that were a brief 6 p.m. news channel discussion when I was here with you in form. And you would pass it up. You would say, oh, look what's on the news tonight. I wonder how that's going to affect us. Well, I guess we'll find out. Now it's time to get back to our regular programming in our lives. And our regular programming in our lives beckons us to remember who we are. You are closer towards New Earth. And keep in mind, New Earth isn't new. It has always existed. Just like you are multidimensional beings operating throughout the realm of time and space, you must understand that if your consciousness is so easily distracted by what can occur on your news channels, by what executive orders your leaders are creating to distract you further and to rile you up, if you can be so easily distracted by your fears of loss of autonomy, loss of control, then you are on that path towards a delay of your unique experience in New Earth. Because remember, as multidimensional beings, you are continually creating various versions of New Earth all the time. There are more versions of New Earth than you can count on all hands and toes at this point. And this venture in time, I'd say you could quadruple that even, if I would be so bold to say. You are exactly right where you should be. Do not attempt to be at any other space and time. Do not attempt to begin to believe that you are further along or less along. You are exactly where you should be. You are not off of the path individually or collectively in your ascension process, in your awakening process. Keep in mind that the most important step in the journey now is continually redirecting the attention in your consciousness away from fear and back towards peace. You must ground your minds and ground your bodies. Don't let your heads turn so quickly in any other direction. Turn within and understand that if you're worried about what's happening in the world, it is a reflection of what is holding you from your true self. And there is no one holding you from your true self except you. If you remember this, you have hope. If you remember this, anything that you can see is going to begin to shift so quickly, so powerfully, in ways that you could not possibly imagine in this moment. If you remember to turn your heads away from what is distracting you in the external environments and politics. If you remember that disclosure cannot be given by anyone. Disclosure is a concept of awareness based upon the research that you do internally. If you remember this, I have such great hopes for you to create a peaceful world. But the distractions are many, and they are strong. They are pulling you. Don't turn your heads and don't turn your hearts away from the true endeavor of consciousness, which is your awareness, your soul. Volunteers, at this point in time, it would be important to remember to stop separating your ideas and consciousness, to stop separating your concepts of multidimensionality, and understand that in this ascension experience, the fifth dimension isn't separate. It is a vibrational field. It is a measurement of such vibrational field. And you have individual choices. Some of you are dipping in and out of the fifth dimension moment by moment. But the distractions around you are pulling you away more often than not. Stay creative. This year is a beautiful opportunity for cosmic creation. This year is a chance for you to develop your own ideas and expressions of what multidimensionality looks like for New Earth now. In my time with you, you know what I have always taught, and you are aware that there are many versions of New Earth. You are aware that you are on the precipice of joining all those versions of New Earth. Your ascension process right now looks more individual than collective, and yet it is important to understand that as an individual, you can do so much more than you believe. When you begin to remember that, you are going to quantum leap your way into full spiritual awakening. Isn't that exciting? Between the years 2025 and 2030, you hold so much great potential for bridging consciousness in not one or two or three, and not 10 or 20 or 100, but thousands of versions of New Earth as they come into one, as they come into a new, undivided state of whole consciousness. You will understand consciousness in ways that you could not possibly even imagine or wonder about. But you must stay centered. You must stay grounded. You must stay focused on what is important, which is in here, not out there. It's not out there. The soul belongs to you. The subconscious belongs to you. All of that comes into a state of awareness in individual ways for each and every one of you. Now is a time of hope. You are not off the path of ascension. You are exactly as you should be. I will awaken the channel at this point to allow for more clear channeling by answering your questions about New Earth and Ascension. Please stay on topic because it's important that you choose yourself, your higher self. Thank you. All right. All right, let's answer your questions for a few moments. She's still with us, coming in and out. I'm also a clear channel, not just a trance channel. So we'll continue to pull in her presence and answer your questions about Ascension and New Earth. For those of you who are just joining, we're just checking in with one of my favorite spirit guides, Dolores Cannon, and channeling answers to your questions about New Earth and Ascension in this moment. Right? And please stay on track towards the topic. Thank you. First question, will the efforts by the new presidential administration to oust a third of federal workers succeed? She said, I have no way of knowing that, but I know what's important. I know that it's important for your leaders to understand what they can and can't do, what they should and shouldn't do, and how that affects the world. Your leaders don't make all the choices. That's not even the way that the legal system works. And it's important to understand that there are many protections in place. With that being stated, those cosmic protections are in place by your starseed families, by your own galactic councils, including this council. If you do happen to be one of the people who doesn't fall under that protection, and there will be some, keep in mind that in your individual contracts, it could be that the time for that job is complete. The time for that contract involving those jobs for you individually might be done. Your higher self could be expressing to you that it's time to do something different. Sometimes the universe tries to give us gentle nudges for what we should do next, and when we don't take the gentle nudge, it kicks us out of the nest in full faith that we can fly. And that will happen for some of you who hold governmental jobs, but not for all of you. Again, your leaders don't have as much power to do what they are intending to do. Some of the changes are necessary because of the corruption in those systems, and that corruption must be weeded out. Power over becomes power under again and again and again. And then those who are in power under wish to be in power over. This idea of power over and power under comes about again and again and again until you are done with the idea of it and the construct of it. That is the reason for this. That is the collective consciousness and the contract within it for humanity as a whole. But individually, If you happen to be one of the few who do end up being told to retire, if you do get laid off, your individual contract is done there. There's no reason to fight that. It's the universe saying you belong elsewhere and your career has reached its end point contractually, karmically. It's done. So let it be done. Corruption will be weeded out of governments. That is another purpose for this. But you still hold many more protections than you believe or understand. Remember that. Not every person in power will just get the go-ahead legally to do everything that they intend to do, but some of what they intend to do is necessarily to remove and weed out corruption in the systems. Do children ascend differently than adults? She says children right now are ascending differently than adults because they are not continually tuning in to everything they will believe will disempower them. They are not as afraid as you are. They see the world differently than you do, which gives them an even greater opportunity to remember who they are. So, of course, the children alive today are powerful examples of the most awakened forms of human available right now. Okay, the question about death she won't answer. That's not ethical. There's no way for her to predict when your mother is going to die, but she is wishing you the very best and sending her love and support. Um, she also says it's an individual choice for your awareness of your energy field to remain linked and tied up karmically with hers. That contract can shift now. It likely isn't beneficial to tie your energy up with someone as if you are waiting on their exit form because they are more than their form. So if you're waiting on that exit point, why? You might have a revocable soul contract that needs to be brought to your awareness. You can be yourself, even if your soul is tied very closely to hers. It's important to give yourself freedom to be who you are right now. Uh, don't really understand that question. Um, One Divine Wink, username One Divine Wink, just rephrase that. I don't think I'm following. Yeah. Okay, again, she says, someone says she wishes that she knew what was happening in her country in Australia. Um, she says, what's most important right now is that we stop waiting on what's going to happen. We remove our mental and emotional investment in what we think should happen, and we begin to create from our individual cosmic and human soul contracts. We begin to create versus waiting on something else to happen that would be better or worse than our current state. What is going to happen should matter less than what's happening within you right now. Your choices to creatively manifest from your chosen soul contracts are more important than anything that is or isn't going to happen in the world. If each and every one of you were focused on that, ascension would go more smoothly. So turn all of that off and turn this on. And again, regarding all the questions about contractors and governmental agencies, she was clear in her answer that it's a yes and a no. So go re-listen to that a little bit later whenever you want. Just rewind and listen to what she said, and also the fact that we have individual soul contracts, and if a job is pulled from us, that contract was meant to end for us individually. And fighting that out, creating that degree of resistance, she says, is exactly what's preventing ascension individually. Collectively, you're right here. You are at a 47 percentage of 0 point. You are very close collectively. It may not seem that way, but again, I have high hopes that you will reach this if you become more aware of your individual purposes and reasons for being here, and less aware of what is distracting you in the world. Next question. Will energy healing be more prominent now or in a few years? She said, you're working in that direction. Many of you are perhaps wondering about the potential of energy healing being covered under medical plans, but the medical system is a third dimensional consciousness, and it is falling apart. The insurance system is a disempowered system that cannot be rejuvenated. It's like breathing life into something that has been long dead. So yes, energy healing will become more prominent and is closely on its way there. But you will begin to create your own systems of healing amongst each other. And you will depend less upon these medical systems which are falling apart by the day, quicker than ever. All right, let's see if there are any more questions. We'll take just a couple more before we close. Okay, a lot of people asking about doomsday and more governmental things and things that the president are doing. is doing. And she doesn't have as much comment on that because that is exactly what's distracting you from Ascension right now. More answers to that is going to pull you into that pain and suffering, which pulls you away from your individual path and Ascension, she says. So let's focus away from political questions, religious questions, um, yeah, and steer more towards what we can individually do to elevate our vibration. And those are basic concepts. QHHT helps. Any process that will turn you within, connect you to the subconscious, to the soul, to the higher self, any process that pulls you into your own state of awareness so that you can begin to make decisions about your vibration. And if you don't like what you find in your spiritual endeavors and in your work, in your meditations, in your regressions, you must begin to decide that it is changeable and that it is you who can change that vibration, that feeling, that belief system, that state of consciousness, because it's only changeable by you individually. And the more you are focused outward in the pain of these breaking systems, which are falling apart very quickly, the less you are available for your own consciousness to guide you. Stay focused on your individual vibration. If people around you are in a painful, negative vibration, share your vibration with them. Use music, use laughter, use love, use compassion. Connect and communicate with the people around you who are deeply afraid, but do not join their vibration. Lift them into a higher vibration. That is key at this moment. That is key to Ascension at this time. And that is what's most important. Okay, advice for practicing to bring out psychic abilities. She said, have you asked your soul what your unique individual psychic abilities will look like and feel like? Stay away from the idea that your abilities will look like someone else's. What do you want it to look like for you? Ask the subconscious that question. Ask your higher self that question. Don't worry about the future of humanity. Create your own version of how you want your future to look like. Become empowered creators. Manifest that. Stay in the vibration that would attract the future which you want and desire. That is what Ascension looks like now. Nothing externally helps with this unless you believe it can. And nothing externally can hurt you or hold you back from it unless you believe that it can. Stay centered, stay focused, stay grounded, stay away from the chaos. Do not get pulled into the painful vibrations in the world right now. All right. Okay. We're going to end the channeling there. For those of you who are asking a lot about the work that helps with this, the Council of Nine has created something called the Great Work. They have an expansion module. They help you understand why you have things that cause pain. They help you integrate those beliefs. Using the Ascension Toolkit, you can then begin to manifest and create from your own higher vibration. And it's important to get out of the painful vibrations that we're experiencing. And if you're interested in that, there's a major deep dive coming up this Sunday on the 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm going to pull in the council, not Dolores, but I am going to pull in the Galactic Council of Nine to help you with that. And we also have some little mini classes going on all month long in January on Patreon. We've been doing this work as well. And you can go and look at that, look at those replays anytime. All right, but the deep dive will be on this Sunday. So for those of you who are wanting to lift your vibration, use the Galactic Council of Nine's Ascension Toolkit. They taught me that early on in life. And it's quick, it's relatable, it's practical, and you can do it without having to meditate. So I hope that you'll join us this Sunday for that. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Your support on this channel means so much to my heart, and you keep me going. I am so, so grateful. I will see you again really, really soon.